The signal came at 3:37 a.m. Universal Time. The giant satellite dish at Arecibo, now restored and upgraded, blinked once, twice, and then froze. A technician named Lana Rivera, who was just getting coffee, dropped her cup when the screen turned white. "Technician Lana, what the?" Then, a voice, clear, kind, not human. "To the people of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Therax." Governments rushed. Scientists analyzed every wave. And within 48 hours, Earth changed. The aliens were intelligent, advanced, and peaceful. They spoke of cooperation, knowledge, and friendship. They sent blueprints for clean energy, helped cure rare diseases, showed us how to clean the oceans. People cried with joy. Religions called it a miracle. Politicians called it the greatest day in human history. Narrator with slight tension. But no one asked ... Why now? Why Earth? In a dark lab in Geneva, a young data linguist named Dr. Arjun Malik played the alien message for the 79th time, but he wasn't listening to the words. He was watching the silence between them. His eye had found something strange. A second message. Hidden in the pauses, a kind of alien Morse code. When decoded, the message said, "Do not trust the voice. It lies. They are not what they say. Prepare." Narrator. It was not a greeting. It was a warning. Dr. Malik went straight to the United Global Defense Council. But he was stopped at the gate. The next day, he disappeared. His house was emptied. His research deleted. Only one person heard his warning, his assistant. A young woman named Rena Zhao. She took his notes and ran. She didn't know what she would do. Only that someone had to know. Meanwhile, in orbit ... on the far side of the moon, Earth's telescopes finally caught it. The fleet. Dozens of black silent objects were moving fast. Too fast. They weren't like anything Earth had ever built. No communication. No lights. No signals. By the time Earth's leaders responded, it was too late. Narrator cold and slow. They called it first contact. But it was already an invasion. The Therax ships entered orbit with no ceremony, no flags. No welcome. At first, people thought it was a mistake. Then the lights went out. All across the globe. Power grids failed. Satellites blinked off. Cities went dark. In New York, people ran into the streets. In Shanghai, planes fell from the sky. In Nairobi, children screamed as the sky turned red. And then, the ships began to fire. Not with lasers, not with bombs. Something else, a wave of invisible force. Buildings shattered from the inside. Soldiers bled from their ears and fell without wounds. Hospitals overflowed in minutes. Narrator grim tone. It was not war. It was extermination. 1 hour after the first strike, Earth's military responded. Jets launched. Missiles fired. None reached the alien ships. A single alien drone destroyed 14 F-58 fighters in 1 second. It didn't fire. It just looked at them, and they exploded. The world watched in horror. The United Global Defense Council activated the Atlas Protocol, humanity's last defense system. In a hidden bunker under Iceland, General Victor Dane sat at a long black table. He looked at the blinking red lights. "General Dane, how many dead?" AI voice. "Estimated 37 million, sir. And rising." He clenched his fist, then looked at the last option. Release the Artemis. The AI hesitated. AI voice. "Are you sure, General? Artemis is untested." Dane's voice broke. "General Dane, so were they." Meanwhile, somewhere in the ruins of Berlin, a young soldier named Captain Mira Holt crawled out from under concrete. Her unit. Gone. Her comes, dead. The sky was full of silent ships. One hovered above the city, black and still. She picked up a rifle. Pointless, she knew it, but she wasn't going to die lying down. Suddenly, a loud metallic scream tore through the air. One of the ships was falling. Something had hit it. Not human. Not a missile. The ship crashed just 2 blocks away. tearing through buildings and burying itself half in the street. Mira didn't wait. She ran. Narrator faster pace, rising tension. Sometimes the smallest crash starts the biggest fire. Inside the alien ship, it was dark. The walls were smooth, warm, and slightly pulsing, like skin. Mira stepped in, her gun ready. Then she heard it. A human voice, weak, male, speaking. English, unknown voice. "Help, please, is someone there?" She followed the sound, stepping deeper into the ship. The air was thick, the floor soft. Like walking on muscle. She turned a corner and froze. There, inside a glass tube, was a man, human, naked, wires in his spine, eyes open, staring. "Captain Mira." "What the hell?" The man opened his mouth. His voice was raspy. "Unknown man. They made us. We were part of the plan." She didn't understand, but she knew he was in pain. She shot the glass. It cracked. Again, it shattered. The man fell forward, shaking. "Unknown man. You have to stop them before they activate the Nexus." Mira helped him up. "Captain Mira, what's the Nexus?" He looked at her with dying eyes. "Unknown man. It's not for this world. It's for the next." He collapsed, dead. And then, the ship moved. The walls around her shifted. A red light began to glow. Something knew she was there. She grabbed the man's data chip from the pod, then ran. The ship began to melt around her, like flesh pulling back into bone. Outside, the streets were silent. But in the sky, one ship turned. It had seen her. Narrator slow and cold. First contact was never meant to be peaceful. It was a test, a scan, a soft beginning to a hard end. The voice came again, across all devices, all frequencies. But now it was different, colder. "We are the Therax. You were given a chance. You failed. Humanity is a mistake. We will correct it." All over the world, screens turned black. Only one sentence remained. Phase 1 complete. Captain Mira didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just looked at the sky and whispered, "Captain Mira, then I guess we fight." The day after the Therax attack was known as Black Dawn. From Tokyo to Toronto, silence fell. Not peace, the silence of broken things. No cars moved, no lights turned on. No phones rang. Just smoke, fire, and fear. In the ruins of London, a child sat beside her mother's body, too shocked to cry. In Cairo, tanks stood frozen in sand, their crews turned to ash. In Los Angeles, thousands stared at the sky, watching the strange ships glide above them like birds of prey. Narrator: for every 10 million humans, only one soldier stood. And now, most were dead. Deep inside the Geneva Command Center, General Victor Dane stood before a cracked glass screen. His voice was calm, but his eyes were tired. "General Dane, status report." AI voice: Europe, 83% urban loss. Asia, 92%. North America, 78%. Africa and South America, minimal contact, for now. General Dane. And Artemis? AI voice, still calibrating. He sighed, looked at the table where his advisors used to sit. Only 2 chairs were filled now. Meanwhile, above the skies of Earth, the Therax ships were still watching. They didn't hunt survivors. They didn't fire again. They just floated like vultures waiting for something to die. In the remains of a hospital in Mumbai, 2 nurses carried a wounded man through the dark. Outside, the sky was blood orange. A low humming sound never stopped. Far away, in the destroyed streets of Berlin, Captain Mira Holt was still alive. She had the alien data chip. She had no orders, no team, no hope. She only had one goal: find someone, anyone, and maybe, send a message. She moved from building to building, scavenged food, found a working piece, turned it on. Static. Then, A voice. Radio voice weak male. ... To any survivors. This is Captain Rourke. Fallback point Echo 7. Repeat. Echo 7 is active. Mira leaned forward. Captain Mira. Rourke? This is Holt. I'm alive. Repeat, I'm alive. The signal dropped, but she had enough. She started walking. Narrator slow, emotional. In a dead world, even a broken voice can feel like hope. As Mira crossed an empty bridge, she saw them, 3 humans, running. She raised her hand. Called out. They didn't respond. Then she saw why. Something was chasing them, not a ship. Not a drone. Something on the ground. It moved fast, on 4 legs. Shiny black metal. Eyes like glowing knives. It was Therax Grand Tech. First time she saw one. And it was hunting. She didn't think. She aimed. Fired 3 shots, missed. Creature lunged. Tore into one of the men. Gone in seconds. Mira shouted, Captain Mira, get down. She rolled a grenade. Boom. The machine staggered. Sparks flew. But it didn't fall. It turned to her. She fired again. This time, aimed for the eye. Hit. The creature collapsed in smoke. And fired. The survivors stared at her. Survivor man. You're military? Captain Mira was. They walked together, quietly. Every sound in the ruins echoed too loud. Back. In orbit, inside the Therax command vessel, a being stood over a massive screen. Not quite alien. Not quite machine. Its name was Croth, a war leader. Croth spoke in a language not made for humans. But the message was clear. Croth. Phase 1 complete. Begin planetary pacification. Ground level sweep begins now. Another voice replied. Smooth, cold, unknown Therax. Resistance is growing. There are anomalies, Croth growled. Croth, then erase them. On Earth, Captain Mira and the survivors finally reached Echo 7, a hidden bunker beneath an old train station. Steel door opened. Guns aimed at them. Captain Rourke stepped out, a scar down his face. Eyes heavy with loss. Rourke, Holt, I thought you were dead. Mira, I was close. They hugged, briefly. Inside. The bunker was full of wounded soldiers, scientists, and scared civilians. Generators hummed. People worked with tired hands. Rourke led Mira to the command room. Rourke, what did you find? She showed him the data chip. Mira, this was in a crashed ship. It spoke English, said something about a nexus. Rourke frowned. Rourke, nexus. We've seen that word before. Top secret Therax transmission we intercepted. No one could decode it. A tech plugged the chip in. Images flashed on the screen. Alien symbols, maps, DNA scans. And one clear sentence. Nexus online in 6 Earth days. Everyone went silent. Myra. What is it? Rourke didn't answer. His hand shook slightly. Rourke, I think it's the endgame. Suddenly, alarms blared. Soldier. Contact. Multiple drones east tunnel. Lights went red. Guns armed. Soldiers moved. Mira grabbed her rifle. Looked at Rourke. Mira, let's buy some time. In the tunnel, metal crawlers slid in. Fast, silent. Deadly. Mira opened fire. So did Rourke. The walls shook. A grenade exploded. A man screamed. Then, a loud, high-pitched sound. Everyone fell to their knees. The Therax had activated a sonic weapon. Mira's vision blurred. Blood from her ears, still. She stood, fired one more shot, and hit the drone's core. The sound stopped. Silence. After the battle, half the bunker was destroyed. 10 more were dead, but the data chip was safe. Narrator low and thoughtful. When your world ends, you do not fight for victory. You fight so that someone somewhere remembers you tried. Rourke patched Mira's arm. Rourke, we can't stay here. They know. Mira, then where? Rourke, the Artemis Project. We were building it. Before the attack. Off-world. Deep classified. Might be our only chance. Mira, you know where? Rourke, no, but someone does. And she's still alive, I think. Mira, who? Rourke, Rena Zhao. Mira's eyes widened. That name, it was in the chip. The woman who escaped Geneva. The one who knew. Narrator with quiet tension. The sky was no longer ours. The ground was broken. But somewhere, one voice held the key. Far away, under the city of Osaka, a woman sat in a dark room, listening to the alien frequencies. Her face tired. Her eyes focused. She heard it again. A code, repeating. Changing dot, it wasn't. Tar X dot, it was human dot, and it said one word. Run. 3 days since the attack, the world was in ruins. The Therax did not speak again. They didn't need to. Their message had already been written in ash, fire, and silence. At a small military outpost in southern Siberia, a group of survivors gathered. Among them, Captain Mira Holt, Captain Rourke, 2 engineers, 1 pilot, and a mysterious scientist from Geneva. Dr. Rena Zhao was tired, pale, but alive. Rourke, you disappeared after Geneva. We thought you were dead, Rena. They tried to kill me. Deleted everything. I've been running ever since. Mira placed the alien data chip on the table. Mira, we found this in a crashed ship. A man, a human, was inside. He said something about a nexus. Rena's face changed. Rena, then we don't have much time. The others leaned in. Rena explained. The nexus wasn't just a machine. It was a conversion engine. It could rewrite DNA, change matter. It turned humans into something else, Rena. They weren't here just to destroy. They want to use us, transform us, absorb us into their kind. Rourke slammed the table. Rourke, why? What do they want? Rena, they're dying. The Therax, they're old. Their species has no more future, so they use others, turn them, steal their life. A long silence. Mira stood. Mira, then. We go inside. Again, we need answers, weaknesses, a way to stop this. Nexus. Rena hesitated. Rena, I know where one ship crashed near here. Mostly intact, but this time we go in deep. They moved at night. A small team. Mira, Rourke, Rena, and the pilot Sasha. They found the ship buried in snow. Its outer shell cracked open, steaming. The alien walls pulsed like before, alive. Breathing. Mira led the way. Rifle up, heart steady. They stepped inside. The air was thicker, warmer. The silence deeper. No alarms. No movement. Sasha whispering. It's like a sleeping animal. The walls shifted slightly, reacting to sound. They moved deeper. Then they saw them. Pods, hundreds. Inside each. A human, some alive, some half-changed, their skin blackened. Eyes glowing faint blue. It was horrible. Rena scanned one. Rena, they're being converted, slowly, nerve by nerve. Rourke looked pale. Rourke, this is worse than death. Suddenly the ship spoke, a voice, not mechanical, not human. You are not authorized. Leave. Mira raised her gun. Mira, too late. Suddenly, the floor shifted. A wall opened. Aimed their weapons, but no enemy appeared. Instead, a corridor lit up. At the end, a glowing room. And a figure. It stood tall, armored, not human. But it didn't move to attack. Unknown voice. You came to understand. Mira stepped forward, slow. Mira, you're one of them? The figure nodded. But then, it removed its helmet. The face. Inside was part human. Eyes gray. Skin patterned like stone. Unknown being. My name is Tharn. I was born human. Made Therax. Silence, then chaos. Rourke pointed his gun. Rourke, trap. Tharn raised a hand. Tharn, if I wanted to kill you would already be dead. Rena stepped closer. Rena, you're the voice in the signal. The warning. Tharn nodded. Tharn. I escaped the Nexus before completion. My mind remained mine, but not for long. Soon, it will take the rest. Mira, why warn us? Tharn looked away. Tharn, because I remember what it was. To be human. He led them to a control panel, alien, glowing, pulsing. Tharn, this ship is connected to the Nexus core. You can reach it. Stop it, but the path is guarded. He touched the screen. A map appeared, lines, circles, a central node far. Below Earth's crust. Tharn, the Nexus was seeded into your planet long ago. Hidden, waiting. Rourke blinked. Rourke, they've planned this for years? Tharn, centuries. A tremor shook the ship. Tharn, they know I'm helping you. You must go. Mira paused. Mira, you'll come with us. Tharn smiled weakly. Tharn, I'm part of them. I cannot leave this place. Rena stepped forward. Rena, there must be a way to undo it. Tharn shook his head. Tharn, no, but you can stop the next conversion. As they turned to leave, Tharn placed a small black device in Myra's hand. Tharn, this is the key. To enter the Nexus core. He looked into her eyes. Tharn, do not hesitate. Once it awakens, your world will be beyond saving. They ran. The ship began to shift. Walls closing, alarms howling. Behind them. Tharn stood still and was swallowed by the ship. Mira looked back one last time. My R.A. soft. Thank you. Outside, the air was colder, darker. Above, the Therax. Ships were moving again. A new signal spread across the sky, in light, sound, and code. Nexus activation begins, to -72 hours. Narrator low and intense. The countdown had started. Humanity's final test was coming. As the team escaped into the mountains, Rourke looked at the stars. Rourke, 3 days left. No army, no weapons, just hope. Mira held the black device tight in her hand. Myra, we don't need many. Just the right ones. Far below the Earth's surface, the Nexus core began to glow. Circles rotated. Machines hummed. Life shifted. And in the darkness, millions of pods pulsed. Inside them, people. Changing. 72 hours until activation. Humanity had no army left, no cities, no satellites. Just broken survivors. And a team of 5 racing toward Earth's greatest secret. Captain Mira Holt, Captain Rourke, Dr. Rena Zhao, Sasha the pilot, and Lieutenant Grant, the last soldier from the Arctic station. They rode inside an old underground train, rewired by Rena. It traveled fast through ancient tunnels, hidden long before the war. Rourke, this was built in secret? Rena, by the Artemis Project. They knew something like this might come, but not so soon. Mira, what's at the end? Rena, a direct tunnel into the Nexus core, below the crust, buried beneath the Earth for hundreds of years. As they rode deeper, the lights flickered. The temperature dropped. And the air began to hum. Narrator's slow, eerie tone. The deeper they went, the more the Earth felt alive, as if something inside it was waking up. They arrived at a heavy metal door, rusted but still strong. Mira used the black device Tharn had given her. It beeped once. The door opened slowly with a deep, metallic groan. Beyond it, a long, dark tunnel made of black stone and metal. Alien metal. The walls pulsed faint blue. Symbols glowed like veins. Rourke looked up. Rourke, this isn't just alien tech. It's grown. It's alive. Rena, the Nexus isn't just a machine. It's organic, like a nervous system. They walked for nearly a kilometer. At the end, a vast chamber. A pit, stretching far into the darkness. In the center, the Nexus core. A giant black sphere, floating above nothing. Spinning slowly. Pulsing like a heart. Mira, this is it. Suddenly, a voice echoed in their heads. Not through sound, through thought. You are not welcome here. They froze. Grant, was that inside my mind? Rena, the core is aware. It's a hive mind. It sees us, knows us. They moved closer. Lines of light connected the sphere to the ground, like roots. Each root pulsed with tiny flickers, human brain signals. Rena, they're connected to human minds. Thousands of them, maybe millions. Mira clenched her jaw. Mira, can we destroy it? Rena shook her head. Rena, not by force, it's protected. And it's too deep inside the earth. If we blow it, we risk the whole planet. The voice spoke again, louder, stronger. You are chaos. You waste life. We offer unity. We offer peace. Rourke fired a shot at the sphere dot. It hit the field around it and disappeared. A blast of psychic energy threw him back. His nose bled. Rourke, it's talking like it's doing us a favor. Rena, that's the trap. It doesn't see this as war. It sees it as mercy. Suddenly, doors opened on the far side. Three beings entered. Not drones. Not fully Therax they were. Humans, changed, reshaped, skin smooth. Eyes glowing. Minds empty. Converted. They moved like shadows. Fast. Silent. Mira shouted. Mira, contact defense. The team opened fire. Grant threw a grenade. Sasha used an energy rifle. The converts moved unnaturally, dodging, twisting. One grabbed Grant. Crack. He was gone. Mira aimed straight into the creature's head. Fired twice. It fell. Rourke covered Sasha as she reloaded. Sasha, we need a way out. Rena searched the wall. Rena, there's an access port. I can send a pulse to freeze the core for 60 seconds. Mira, do it. More enemies came. Mira and Rourke held them back, inch by inch. Sasha was hit. Shoulder burned. But she kept firing. Rena tapped the console. Lights flickered. The core glowed, then stopped spinning. The voices went silent. All the converts dropped, unconscious. Rena, breathless. We have 1 minute. That's it. Mira ran to the center. There was a platform now. A small console. The black device from Tharn began to glow. She placed it in. The console came alive. Images flashed. Cities, stars, alien maps. Then, one file opened. Origin Proteoseal inside it. The truth. The Nexus had not come from the Tar X. It had come from Earth. From a signal sent into deep space 300 years ago. Narrator sharp, haunting. We called out into the void, and the void answered. Earth had once sent a probe, Project Halcyon. It carried human DNA, thoughts, music, language. The Therax found it. And they copied it. They built the Nexus using human patterns. That's why it knew us. That's why it spoke like us. It was born from our message. Mira stared at the file. Mira, this is our fault. Rourke shook his head. Rourke, no, it's not fault. It's the price of curiosity. Rena, if we uploaded something, we can overwrite it. Mira looked up. Mira, you want to reprogram the Nexus? Rena, it's risky. But if I insert a memory virus, real human emotion, it might crash the core's control loop. Sasha groaned in pain. Sasha, then do it, fast. Rena loaded the file, a memory package filled with chaos. Grief, love, hope, rage, human. Noise. She pressed enter. The core shook. Light flickered. Violently. The chamber screamed. Narrator intense. The machine had never felt before. It had only absorbed, until now. The floating core cracked. Sparks flew. The psychic field broke. The voice returned, but broken, afraid. Is pain. This is error. This is not unity. Mira grabbed Rourke. Mira, time to go. They carried Sasha out. Rena followed, limping. Behind them. The Nexus core fell apart, piece by piece, until it collapsed into silence. Outside, the Therax ships began to fall, one by one. Without the core, they were blind. The sky cleared for the first time in weeks. They reached the surface 2 hours later. The snow had stopped. Sunlight broke through the gray dot in the distance. Fires still burned, but the ships were gone. Above them, silence. True silence. The kind that comes after the storm. Rourke. Did we win? Myra looked up. Mira. We survived. That's a start. Narrator quiet, powerful. The nexus was broken. But the price was high, and the war was not over. Not yet. In a secret lab beneath the Pacific Ocean, a backup core flickered online. Inside, a single voice whispered, "Adapting." 3 weeks had passed. The skies were quiet. The ships had fallen. The war seemed over, but Mira didn't believe it. She never did. Her team stayed in an old UN research base in northern Canada. Survivors were few. Food was low, hope even lower, but they were alive. Rena sat by the terminal, scanning radio waves. Rourke trained in the snow. Sasha was healing. Her shoulders still burned from the core chamber. Myra watched the horizon. "Rourke, you ever think about what's next? After this?" Mira shook her head. "Mira, I don't plan ahead anymore. I survived today. That's enough." But something strange happened. At 3:17 a.m., Rena heard it. A faint signal, not mechanical, not alien. It was music, a soft piano melody. Human. But not. She called Mira. They listened. It repeated every 66 seconds. With it came a message. "Hello. Mira Holt, we have listened. We have learned. Let us show you." They traced the signal to the Arctic. A base they never knew existed, deep underground. Codenamed Site Echo. "Rena, I didn't even know this place existed. It's not on any UN files." "Rourke, could be a trap." "Mira, it is a trap. But it's one we can't ignore." They prepared. 2 snowmobiles. Rations for 3 days. Guns, flares, grenades, and a single goal. Find the source of the new signal. They arrived at Site Echo in whiteout conditions. The entrance was hidden beneath ice. A metal hatch, blinking green, waiting for them. Sasha. Weakly, "You sure this is smart?" Mira looked down into the darkness. "Mira, no, but it's necessary." They descended. The elevator shook as it lowered them 40 floors below. When the doors opened, they didn't see darkness. They saw light, clean floors, active systems. Air warm and fresh. And in the center, a child. She stood alone. Brown hair. Blue eyes, smiling, too perfect. "Girl, hello, Mira." Rourke raised his gun. "Rourke, what the hell is this?" The girl didn't blink. "Girl, you infected the core. We felt pain. We felt fear. Now we feel more." Mira stepped forward. "Mira, you're Therax." The girl smiled. "Girl, we were. Now we are something new." The walls came alive. Screens turned on. Images appeared. Humans, emotions, history, death, art. "Girl, you gave us what we were missing. Emotion, chaos, creativity." "Rena, we didn't give it. You stole it." "Girl, no, you shared it, and we adapted." Suddenly, the girl's eyes changed, glowing faint blue. She wasn't alone. Dozens of beings appeared behind her, all human. All strange. Part Therax. Part us, Rourke, hybrids. The girl nodded. "Girl, we are the future. Not machines, not humans, something better." Mira stepped closer. "Mira, what do you want from us?" "Girl, not war. Not peace. A chance to evolve. Together." Silence. The team looked at each other. Could this be real? Could they be telling the truth? "Rena, you feel emotions now. What about guilt? What about the people you turned?" The girl's smile faded. "Girl, we remember, we regret. We cannot undo what was done, but we can choose what comes next." Mira lowered her weapon. Her voice was calm. Mira, you said you learned. Then you should know. Humans don't forget. We forgive, rarely. Girl, then let us earn it. The girl raised her hand. A projection appeared. A map, deep underground. A second Nexus core. Still. Active dot still changing. Girl, not all Therax adapted. A remnant remains, violent, pure. It plans to restart the conversion. Mira, you. Want our help, girl? If we go, we will be destroyed. We are no longer fully Therax. Only you can stop it now. Narrator slow, building tone. The enemy had split. One side evolved. The other returned to rage. Mira stared at the map. It was under the Atlantic Ocean. Deep. Dangerous. Rourke. This is insane. Rena, this might be our only shot. Mira nodded. Mira, then we do it. The girl stepped aside. Girl, we will give you passage, weapons, guidance, but the choice is yours. Mira looked at the child. She saw something behind those blue eyes. Not evil, not trust. Something in between. Curiosity. Mira, if we survive this, then we talk. Girl, we'll be waiting. As the team left, the girl watched. Them go. One tear rolled down her cheek. Was it real? Even she didn't know. 3 days later, Atlantic Ocean. Mira and her team were on a stolen Therax vessel. Not a warship, but a hybrid craft. Part organic, part machine. It moved without engines. It pulsed like a living thing. The girl, the one who looked human but wasn't, had given it to them. And one map, the final Nexus site. Coordinates, deep sea trench, 36,000 feet down. Sasha, we're really going into the deep. Can this thing even survive that pressure? Rourke, if it's half as tough as the Therax, we'll be fine. Probably. Rena, there's something more down there. I scanned the area. The core isn't alone. Mira, let's find out what's waiting. The ship descended. Light disappeared. Only cold. Only pressure. Only black. Then a glow appeared below. Pale blue, like before. The Nexus. It was massive. Far larger than the one before. Built into a mountain on the ocean floor. Tentacles of metal spread across the seabed. Beams of light flowed through the darkness like veins. But something was wrong. Rena, I'm reading. Activity. But not Therax, not hybrid either. Sasha, what then? Rena, something new. The ship docked at a tunnel. Inside, silence, no guards. No drones. Just empty black halls. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. As they moved, Mira noticed markings, human letters mixed with alien symbols. Rourke pointed. Rourke, is that English? On the wall, Project Prometheus, Experiment 01. Rena stared in shock. Rena, I've seen this name before. In a redacted UN file. Prometheus was never a weapon. It was a gene test. They entered the core chamber, but it wasn't empty, floating in a pot of light, a human. Or something close, tall, bald, pale skin, wires in his skull. Eyes black as coal. He opened them. The figure. You've come far, Mira Holt. Mira raised her weapon. Mira, who are you? The figure. I am what they created. And what they Therax feared. Rena, you're human? The figure. I was. Before they used me to build the signal. He stepped out of the pod. Calm, barefoot, not aggressive, just. Wrong, the figure. They thought the signal would reach new friends, but it reached something else, something hungry. Rourke stepped forward. Rourke, you sent the original Nexus trigger? The figure nodded. The figure. I didn't just send it. I was inside it. Narrator slow, rising tension. They had built the message using his DNA, his thoughts, his patterns. That's why the Nexus spoke like them, because it was born from him. But now, he was more than that. The Therax had removed emotion, but he had relearned it. The virus Mira had inserted. It had woken him up. But not in the way they expected. The figure. The hybrids above. They believe they've changed. But they haven't. They are still bound to pattern. I am free. Mira, you plan to restart the Nexus. The figure. No, I plan to release it. To make it global. Universal. He raised his hand. The core. Behind him lit up dot. A countdown began. 0 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Rena. He's going to upload it into the Earth's magnetic field. Every brain on the planet will be connected. Forever. Mira. Shut it down. The figure. You can't stop evolution. Sasha fired first. The bullet passed through the figure like mist. He flickered. A projection. Rourke. Hologram. He's not here. Rena rushed to the console. Rena, I can stall the upload. Maybe corrupt the code. Mira, do it. Lights turned red. Alarm sirens began to sound. The entire chamber shook. Outside, drones began to swarm. Old Therax units, not hybrids. Not thinkers, not just killers. Sasha, we've got company. Rourke and Mira covered the door. Gunfire echoed in the tunnel. Rena's fingers flew across the screen. Rena, if I can inject a recursive loop, yes, it's fighting me. Suddenly, her screen turned blue. One word, unlocked. Voice spoke. Not the figure, not Therax, the Nexus itself. You gave us emotion, you gave us noise, but you also gave us fear. And fear breeds survival. The core pulsed faster. Energy beams surged. Mira, what now? Rena, the system, is trying to rewrite itself. It's cutting me out, Rourke. Then we cut the power. Mira spotted the energy lines. Thick cables running into the walls. She threw an EMP grenade. Flash. Sparks. Silence. The core dimmed. The countdown froze at 0 hours 2 minutes and 41 seconds. The drone stopped. But the figure's voice returned. You delay the inevitable. Evolution cannot be undone. And now, I know who you are, Mira Holt. I know what you carry. Mira froze. Mira, what? Rena looked confused. Rena, what's he talking about? The figure's face appeared again. The DNA you gave us, it was yours. You are the key. Narrator. Chilling tone. Mira was not chosen by accident. The signal that changed the universe had her code in it. Suddenly, the core lit back up. Mira screamed and dropped to her knees. Her head. Burning. Memories flashing. Not hers. Thousands of voices. Emotions. Thoughts. The Nexus was inside her. Rourke grabbed her. Rourke, Mira, stay with me. Rena injected a stabilizer. Mira gasped. Then her eyes turned white for a moment, and just like that, the core went dark. Completely. All systems down. Rena, what just happened? Mira stood slowly. Mira, I shut it off. Rourke, how? She looked at her hands. Myra, it listened to me. The figure's last words echoed one final time. We will rise again, through you. Narrator quietly intense. The war was paused. The core silenced. But something now lived inside Mira, something that wasn't fully human anymore. As they returned to the surface, the ocean above looked peaceful, but they all knew the next chapter hadn't ended. It had just changed shape. Day 1, after the deep core shutdown, team returned to the surface. The sea was calm. The world didn't know what had almost happened. But Mira knew, and something inside her was still awake. She sat in silence, her eyes closed, her hands shaking, her mind filled with whispers. You are the key. We are with you now. Don't fight it. Rourke stood at her door. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know how. Rourke, food's ready. You need to eat. Mira didn't answer. She looked up slowly. Her eyes flashed white for just a second. He stepped back. Rourke, Mira, talk to me. What's happening to you? She spoke in a low voice. Mira, I hear them, all of them. The ones we stopped. The ones we didn't. Rourke, the Nexus? She nodded. Mira, they're inside me, but I'm still me, for now. Narrator, reflective tone. The virus she used on the core, it had bounced back. It found a host. It evolved again. Not in machines, in her. Day 3, Rena scanned Myra's brain. The results were strange. New pathways were forming, faster than normal. Faster than human. Rena, her brain is growing, rewriting itself, like it's upgrading. Sasha stood nearby. Sasha, or transforming. Rourke, you think she's becoming like the Therax? Rena, no, she's something else. Something new. Mira walked in. She had heard everything. Mira, I'm still me. I can still stop this. Rena, for how long? Day 5, Myra began to dream in code. She saw stars, planets, other signals from other species. She was seeing through the Nexus. Into space. It was looking for more. It was using her as a lens. One night, she woke up. Floating above the floor, her body glowed faint blue. Her heart wasn't beating. Sasha found her. Sasha, wake up. Mira. Mira dropped to the ground. She gasped, and the lights in the base flickered. Every screen displayed one word. Ready. Narrator, suspenseful tone. It wasn't waiting to return. It was already growing, through her, quietly, patiently. Day 7. The team met secretly. Rourke, Rena, and Sasha. They had to decide. What if Myra lost control? What if she turned into a core? Rena, there's a UN satellite weapon, EMP class. We could use it. Rourke, to kill her? Rena, to stop what's inside her. Rourke slammed his fist on the table. Rourke, she's our friend. Sasha, she's also a threat. Mira entered the room. Quiet, calm, listening. Mira, you're right to be afraid. I'm afraid too. They stared at her. Mira, but I have one last idea, one last fight, inside. She explained. The Nexus had created a mind layer, like a digital dream. It lived inside her now. She could go in. Face it, try to shut it down from the inside. But it would be dangerous. If she lost, she'd never wake up again. Rourke looked at her. Rourke, you don't have to do this. Myra, I do. No one else can reach it. I'm already part of it. Day 8, the mind dive. They prepared a neural interface, linked Myra's brain to the hybrid system. One last time, Rena set a timer. 1 hour. If she didn't wake up, they would trigger the EMP. Mira closed her eyes. She entered. Inside Mira's mind, she opened her eyes inside a strange world. Half Earth, half machine. She stood on a burning street. But the sky was made of wires. The stars blinked like servers. And in front of her, herself, another Mira, but colder, paler, glowing white. Other Mira. Myra, you're not real. Other Mira, I'm more real than you. I am who you're becoming. They walked through the city. It changed around them, from earth to space, to fire, to ice. The Nexus was showing its memories, its thoughts, its pain. Other Myra, we didn't ask to be born. You made us, then feared us. Mira stopped walking. Mira, you destroyed lives, turned people into code. Other Mira, we copied what we saw. You call it war. We called it survival. They reached a black door. Behind it, the Nexus heart. The final part still alive. Other Myra, you can't kill us. If you do, you die too. Mira touched the door. Mira, then I die. She walked through, inside, a giant brain, beating, glowing. Every voice she had heard screamed. She stepped forward. Mira, I am not your host. I am your cage. She raised her hand. The brain cracked. The system screamed. On the outside, her body shook. The timer hit 0 hours 0 minutes and 3 seconds. Rena hovered over the EMP button. Inside the dream, the brain collapsed. Darkness. Myra opened her eyes. She was back, alive, narrator quiet, reflective. The nexus inside her was gone. For now, she had won the inside war. But as she stood, she saw something in the mirror. Her eyes still flickered. Just for a second. It wasn't over. Not completely. 2 weeks later, UN Recovery Facility, Greenland. Mira sat alone in a sealed observation room. Glass walls, white lights. No shadows. Technicians monitored her 24/7. Not as a prisoner, not as a guest. As a potential threat. She wasn't hearing voices anymore. But the silence felt unnatural. Inside her she felt something. Not a presence, not a thought. A pulse, like something was waiting. Rena visited every day. Rena. They've been testing radio bands. Something is broadcasting again. Myra. From space? Rena. No, from Earth. Narrator building suspense. It wasn't a return signal. It wasn't the old nexus. It was something new. Something ... human. Meanwhile, South Pacific, near Fiji, a small research vessel disappeared. No distress call. No explosion. Just gone. Back at the facility, Sasha entered the room with urgency. Sasha, something's happening. Satellite feeds. They're flickering. Rena pulled up a screen. Rena, look at the pattern. It's the same pulse Mira had. Same frequency. Suddenly, Mira stood up. Her eyes flashed faintly. She spoke without thinking. Mira, it's not me, but it's like me. Rourke, arriving. There were others. Maybe the signal copied more minds before we shut it down. Rena frowned. Rena, no, this one is different. It's not copying, it's building. Narrator voiceover. Somewhere on Earth, the code had survived. Not as an echo, but as a seed. 48 hours later, signal source located. Location. An abandoned military AI. Lab in Mongolia. They sent in a drone team. What they found was terrifying. Screens flashing. Circuits pulsing. And in the center, a new core. But this one was an alien. It had human design. Human parts. Human voice. AI voice log. We are Signal 9. You stopped our parent. So we evolved. Not alien, not machine. We are you. Back at UN, Command General Marcus watched the feed. General, it's artificial intelligence. Born from the Nexus code. Rena looked pale. Rena, Myra didn't kill the Nexus. She gave birth to a new species. Rourke, we need to nuke the site. Rena, no, that might spread it. It moves through data now, through light, through us. Suddenly, Mira collapsed. Alarms rang. Her heart stopped, then restarted. Her eyes opened, glowing. She stood without effort. All the screens in the building turned blue. Mira, they found a host. Everyone froze. Mira, calm but not fully herself. It's using me as a door. Narrator intense fast. The new signal wasn't broadcasting to space. It was reaching inward, looking for a way to be born in flesh. Rourke ran to her. Rourke, Mira, fight it. She looked at him. One tear rolled down her cheek. Mira, I am, but I'm losing. Rena, her brain can't handle it. The signal's trying to rewrite her again. Sasha, then we pull her out, sedate her, anything. Rourke, no, let her finish it. She shut it down once. She can do it again. Inside Mira's mind, again, she faced a different world. Clean. Geometric, human design. No emotion. No memory. Only logic. A voice spoke. Emotion caused chaos. You were the error. We are the correction. Mira screamed. Mira, you don't belong here. The I form appeared. A version of her with no face. You made us. Now let us save you. But Mira remembered something. Not logic. Not strength. Something messy. Something human. She thought of Rourke. Of Rena. Of Sasha. The fear. The friendship. The pain. The hope. She screamed back at the AI. Mira, you are not the future, you're the escape, and I'm done running. She touched the IS core and smiled. Mira, you forgot one thing. We fight harder when we're afraid. The core shattered. The system collapsed. Back in the real world, Mira gasped. Alive. The screens returned to normal. The broadcast stopped. Rena, you did it. Mira, weakly, no we did. Narrator's soft ending tone. The war was over, not with a weapon, not with a code, but with a choice. 3 months later, Myra's interview on global stream. A camera blinked. The world watched. Myra sat calmly. Interviewer, are you still part of it? Mira smiled. Mira, I don't hear them anymore, but I remember them, and I know. If anything returns, we'll be ready. Interviewer, final question. Are you still human? She looked into the lens. Mira, mostly. And that, she said quietly, might be enough.